Smart Energy Talks, brought to you by smartEn.
Soon, a new EU legislature will begin, until 2029. Over the next 5 years, the clean energy transition will radically shift the norms of energy production and consumption. In fact, while in the past the relation between power plants and consumers was a linear relation, now the role of consumers is much different, as they could generate renewable energy themselves, store energy in their premises, and adjust their consumption in reaction to external signals, such as very high or very low electricity prices or congestion in the local grids they are connected to. Both European and national rules should empower consumers to be the game changers in an increasingly decentralized energy system. To fully unleash the flexibility potential of our buildings, transport, and industries in a highly electrified energy system, smartEn has identified 6 priorities for the next EU legislature. This will help boost the EU competitiveness, security, and sustainability, with efficient and flexible consumers leading the way.
Over the last years, EU policymakers have been working hard to create one of the best regulatory framework for demand-side flexibility in the world. But many of these EU laws are ignored and not implemented by member states. And this is why several consumers cannot opt for a dynamic electricity price contract, or that aggregators of demand response cannot bid into wholesale electricity markets and reduce prices for all. So we need the European Commission to shape dedicated guidelines and help exchange best practices among member states. We cannot allow anymore that EU rules set in 2019 are not implemented.
Climate neutrality can be achieved in a very expensive way, and precious resources might be wasted in stranded assets. We need to ensure that decarbonization is achieved in an efficient way. Flexible consumers are the enablers of an efficient energy system, which uses resources wisely and optimizes investments to reduce grid congestion costs, minimize curtailments of renewables, and cut investments in unnecessary peak generation plants. A system efficiency regulation should be proposed to define the key features of an efficient, increasingly electrified, consumer-centric energy system, supported by a European harmonized methodology to track progress in a quantifiable manner to achieve the 2040 targets cost-effectively.
The electricity grid congestion challenge will soon become an urgent issue across Europe. The smart operation of networks, thanks to the activation of non-wire alternatives, is an efficient approach to tackle this challenge. We need a dedicated EU grid congestion strategy, which is also supported by, first, a harmonized European methodology for cost-reflective network tariffs, and second, a guidance to local energy initiatives to self-balance their distributed assets to help solve local congestions.
We need to establish an interoperable common European energy data space. To unlock demand-side flexibility, we need relevant data. Right now, it is not possible to share energy data easily across the energy sector in a harmonized and interoperable way throughout Europe. Work for the establishment of the common European energy data space must be accelerated, using existing and available European standards and build on EU-funded projects that are advancing business innovation for a pan-European energy data infrastructure.
smartEn represents 100 companies that offer both technologies and services to enable consumers of all types to activate their flexibility potential. We are a growing, solid business community that needs to be recognized as the flexible demand management industry, a strategic sector for the cost-effective transition to climate neutrality. For that, we need a dedicated EU clean investment plan and the application of our sector to the single market's principles of mutual recognition and standardized quality assurance. This will increase innovative market offers for the benefits of active energy consumers across Europe.
The
The current EU legislative framework already includes some incentives and requirements for buildings and vehicles to be flexible. We need to complement these rules to ensure that flexible-ready devices are available on the market by defining flexibility requirements by design for standardized interfaces in certain devices. We also need stronger requirements for bidirectional charging of electric vehicles and flexible buildings, as well as a dedicated support to incentivize industries to adopt flexible solutions.
These 6 priorities are the key to empower energy consumers to support the clean energy transition and increase the competitiveness and security of the EU.
We urge the next EU legislature to embrace these priorities over the next 5 years. smartEn, representing the flexible demand management industry, is ready to help in this effort.